Hi, I'm John Cruz, and you're watching Cruise Control. I got a special gift for you guys today, and just gonna give you a little teaser there. Yep, it's finally mine. It is the infamous Chicago Cutlass. I got the door open because it's having issues opening and closing, so I wanted to keep it open for the video. Battery's dead, can't get the hood open, so we're gonna figure that stuff out eventually. But yeah, this is it. 1978 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme Brougham with a 260 cubic inch V8, 3-speed automatic. This is the infamous Chicago Cutlass, and yeah, I bought it off the guy who bought it from the boat mechanic. And Quinn, if you're watching this, thank you very much. You're a man of your word, and that goes a long way. I really appreciate it. And I'm glad you were the first guy, or you were the guy to pick it up and take it out of the wild. Yeah, this is I know a lot of you guys are probably going like, what in the hell is wrong with you? You know, like, what is your malfunction, John? Like, what are you thinking? This car is literally no longer there anymore. And yes, it is a terrible car. it is terrible. But if anybody knows me, they know I have a penchant for absolutely terrible vehicles. And I gotta admit, this thing isn't that terrible that it survived from 1978 until today. Oh, bye-bye, door. And it's still, you know, in somewhat of a complete condition. Now, albeit, yes, there are plenty of other 78 Cutlasses or any other vehicle that are in much better condition than this, but this car has supposedly 411,000 miles on it, and the boat mechanic, the second owner, he said he bought it used back in 91, but the title itself says that it was issued back in 2000. So, either 23 or 32 years, this car has, I know it says 11, but it's like 411, literally. The interior is absolutely terrible. You can see the seats are all worn out. The floors are all gone. It's in pretty sorry shape. That door doesn't open. That window, the battery is dead, so I hope it goes back up. But you can see when it's down, it's all cockeyed. It's missing the visors. It's missing the seatbelt clip for this side. And then I'm going to get out and I'm going to show you the driver's seat. The driver's seat is just absolutely terrible. This is from 20 years of the boat mechanic sliding in and out of this car. These things used to be like nice plush pillow velour interior for, you know, it was a Cutlass Supreme Brougham. It wasn't a cheap car. And yeah, that's what happened. I mean, it has power seats, it's got cruise control, intermittent wipers, power windows and locks, it's got a power trunk, it's got a cassette player right there, air conditioning, digital clock, and it's the V8. It has the vinyl roof. I believe it used to have some kind of trim here with like a coach lamp or something like that. I don't have the keys to get into the trunk. But yeah, there is no floor underneath here, and there's nowhere to bolt the seat to, so that's why they have the tire here. Otherwise the whole seat would just tilt right back. It's not the seat bracket that's broken, it's the whole seat would go, you know, because there's nothing attached. guess I can go ahead and close the door. You can see how far down the door sags, and if you look, the door striker has been like driven down, so it's able to match. And you can see the quarters are completely tore up. They say, I haven't really got a good look. I got some pictures, but the frame rail from about here back on both sides is completely gone. Obviously, the bumper struts are all gone. It's held up with 2 pieces of rope. This side is way worse, because this thing was always parked on the street, and it was always parked on the right side of the curb. That's where all the salt and the snow and crap winds up. And yeah, the only thing I have an issue with is right around here, the frame is starting to go. Otherwise, the frame itself is in fairly good condition for how bad the exterior is. The suspension, I mean, it's held up. It's all there. Some of the tires are, they are what they are. But, yeah. People are like, oh my God, this thing is a piece of shit. It's a parts car. And I'm like, really? Show me one good part on this vehicle. Like, maybe the quarter glass and the back glass. I mean, the engine and the transmission, maybe the rear differential. There's not much left of this car. Maybe, I don't know, even the steering column, like the steering wheel's all cracked and fucked up. This turn signal switch is bent all the way up like that. There's nothing usable on this car. And everybody's like, well, why did he junk it? And the day before it got sold, I had called him, or he called me actually, because I was second in line, and a good friend of mine, Quentin Patrick, he was first. And I didn't know he was first, otherwise I would have said, okay, you know what, I'm going to back off and let you have it. You're a good guy and you deserve it. But I didn't know that at the time. So I'm talking to the dude, and he's like, yeah, I've done everything mechanical to it. I just did a valve job. I mean, it leaks a little bit of oil because of it now, but everything's mechanically shipshape, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, why'd you get rid of it? Well, because the latch on the passenger door broke. And I'm like, okay, well, why didn't you fix it? Why didn't you just replace the door? The door is cheesed, it's trash. I mean, there's nothing left to it. And he's like, well, I didn't want to dive down the bodywork hole. And, I just noticed both the mirrors. That's, if it's squint, it's mint, I didn't want to dive down the bodywork hole. And I'm like, well, I mean, it's just a door. It's like 4 bolts and, some wires and shit. And he's like, then if you fix that, then you got to fix something else. And I don't do bodywork. You really? You don't? Oh, I never would have thought. Yeah, so that's why he says he got rid of it, but I think it's because he botched up the valve job. And so I've never seen this thing run in person. I saw a video that Quentin posted of him driving it around, and it's running dog shit slow, it's smoking, and we're all kind of thinking that it's probably the intake manifold gaskets. They didn't seat properly when he decided to do them. So I'm like, I could probably do it myself, but I want like somebody else to do it, because what I plan to do to this thing is to keep the aesthetic, basically, make it so that it's safe, and make it so that it's reliable, and just drive this thing all over the place, like the Chicago Cutlass does Route 66, or sees the Grand Canyon, or maybe do a cannonball run with it, if it's, I mean, I got to fix the floor and the doors, and check the brakes, and, I sold a car to a guy, the Cannonball Taxi. It was just an 87 Crown Vic at the time, and I sold it to the guy, and I thought it was kind of okay. Like, there was some stuff wrong with it, but I'm like, oh, that's just stuff that I would just normally just deal with it. But I didn't really, like, think about it hard, like, you know, if dude's going to be driving it across country at 100 miles an hour, you know, and it needed brakes, and there was a lot more rust than I thought there was, and, you know, I mean, it was a $700 car at the time, so, you know, it wasn't like I screwed him, but at the same time, I felt kind of bad, and I think I accidentally burned some bridges that way. But, like, I want to keep the aesthetic the same on this thing, but I want it to be able to drive to the ends of the earth. And, you know, I've driven much worse vehicles. I have a 79 Cougar that I drove from Chicago to LA and back. That was 4,000 miles, and that was leaky exhaust and worn out, loud as hell tires, and the no air conditioning, no floorboards. You know, people are like, oh, dude, you should bring your title with in case it blows up. Then you can just leave it on the side of the road. And I'm like, nah, I couldn't do that to that car. And yeah, I couldn't do it to this car either. I'm gonna get it right, get it running, drive it around, you know, maybe take it to shows and stuff. I want people to see that, like, the car is not dead. It's kind of close, but mechanically it's still alive and kicking. It's ready for another 100,000. It's whether or not the body can hold out, and that's going to be the issue in this car. Either because, like, even if I blow up the engine, there's guys giving away 260 V8s. Transmission, I think it's just a turbo 350, if I'm not mistaken, or a 200 or something. You can find those a dime a dozen. It's and I think even if the frame does, like, officially go, I'm pretty sure I can find another A-body / G-body. I just call them G-bodies, but I know I think technically this thing is an A-body. I know I can find another frame, and it'll be a pain in the ass to do a body swap on this thing, or a frame swap, but, like, this car deserves it. It was basically indentured servitude for at least 20 years. According to the guy, 32 years. But he claims he bought it, or it was green with the yellow top, and it had the off-white deck lid and the blue front end. And he just drove it. He would replace little mechanical things here and there, but he says, I don't do body work. And it's like, well, of course. So, and as far as how, you know, like the initial hubbub about the car itself, when it was like, oh my God, the car is the Chicago Cutlass has gulped its last gallon of gas, and blah blah blah, and, you know, the whole hubbub behind that. I mean, the guy who tried screwing everybody, he's still talking shit to this very day. And it's like, that just shows what kind of person you are, you know, that you can't let this stuff go. You know, it's just, it's a rusted out car, you know? And I don't know. I mean, I thought he was a friend, but whatever. That's in the past, and I'm not even worried about it. I'm just focusing on this. And, you know, I'm going to get a lot of flack for this car. You know, a lot of people like, oh, it should be burned, it should be crushed, it should be driven off a cliff, sent to the 10th levels of hell, whatever it is. But, you know, some people are like, oh, you should LS swap it, don't be a bitch, just, you know, do something cool with it. And honestly, no, I think it should stay kind of the way it is. I mean, that's the whole thing that makes it unique, is that I mean, it's a testament to General Motors engineering, I guess. You know, that, yeah, maybe it looks like hell, but the damn thing is still running. And, you know, back when I was selling cars, the old adage was, I mean, GM cars will run poorly longer than most cars will run at all. So, yeah, I am definitely happy. This was like manifest destiny. I knew I was destined to have this car because, like I said, everybody knows that I love rusty, terrible, unsafe for road use vehicles, and this definitely fits the bill. But it wasn't handed to me. I had to work for it. And to all the people I still owe money to out there, I know there's at least 2 of you. I haven't forgot about you. If it was any other thing, any other vehicle, I would have said, screw it. I got to meet my obligations first. But this is like really a once in a lifetime thing. If I didn't get it, somebody else will get it. Some of the other YouTubers out there will destroy it or bury it or whatever. And this car doesn't deserve that fate. At least not yet. It deserves to, I guess, retire, basically. Just take it easy. Just drive the easy life, So, yep. There she has it. 1978 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme Brougham. Once again, thank you guys for watching. And honestly, thank you guys for just sharing with me with this moment. This moment, it was months in the making. Actually, yeah, it was some time in the making, and I mean, words can't explain how happy I feel right now. There was other things in my life that were kind of like, stumbling and not going so great, and to have this really, really, really means a lot. It's really speechless. Another thing I did notice before I go, the tires. I always thought these things had 14s, but these are 15-inch tires. So, yeah, I don't know. I might just put on a new set of hoops on it and just leave it as is. Or I might do something a little bit more aggressive, like if I wanted to take it across country, But yeah, like for shows and stuff, I'm pretty much going to leave it how it is. I might put another hubcap on the back here just to make it work. This thing actually is a steel wheel, it was a chrome-plated wheel at one point. Steel wheel, duh, they're all steel wheels. But, yeah. I always thought these things came with 14-inch wheels standard. So, yeah. And, part of me wanted to do like a wasteland car out of it. I mean, it could pretty much go as is, and it would kind of be in theme, but I think I would have to do something a little bit extra, like some lights or guns or spikes or something, and I don't want to do that to this car. I want this car to stay the way it is. So, all right, I've rambled on long enough. Only 20 minutes, so yeah, it's not as long as I usually do, but long enough where it's like, you guys get the point. It'll probably be down for about a week or so, and then after that, I mean, you'll see a lot more of it floating around, and yeah. If you guys want to come and see it, once it's ready, feel free to contact me. You want to drive it, you want to do videos of yourself on it. Zach, I know you're probably watching, and you probably want to do a walk-around video of it. Yours are a hell of a lot better than mine. I'll tell you that. And for all you guys who don't know what I'm talking about, a friend of mine, Zach Pradel, I think that's how you say his last name, he has a YouTube channel called Shooting Cars. And he's done my 82 LTD and my 88 Mercury Grand Marquis Colony Park LS station wagon. And he's a good guy, very professional. Like I said, he does his videos a hell of a lot better than mine. He actually puts effort into it and production value. I'm just like some bum with a camera, a shaky camera, a phone, talking to the camera and monologuing. So, yeah, there she is. So, all right, guys, take it easy. Remember, keep it, well, there is no shiny side to this thing, but keep it the shiniest side you got up and keep it under 100. Have a great day.